So we were in Newark, New Jersey, okay? And my dad knew somebody that knew somebody that knew somebody who used to come for the summers on the vineyard, okay? We only had been there for a couple of months, and my dad came in May to see what it was like to work on the vineyard. By June, he had rented a house, the community, the Brazilian call it the Blue House in Eggertown, right behind Stop and Shop today, which used to be A&P. So there was a house there that he rented. And I remember to this day, he rented for 3 months, $12,000, okay? And just like he did later on, he did it the first time. We moved to the vineyard. We all lived in one room, and he rented the other rooms to raise money to pay for that house for that summer. That I remember 100%. So we did that. That was our first summer here.
It was April 1st, and I know it was really rainy and gloomy out. And I remember because I was like, oh, is this what America looks like? In my head, I was just like, is every day this gloomy and cold? Because it was still like beginning of April, so it was still really cold. I came from like a rural place, but like all the trees, like because they were so dead, all the trees, I was just like, where am I? And I came directly to Martha's Vineyard, so there was nothing else for me to compare it to in the U.S.
Where did you come from?
So I was born in Belo Horizonte, Minas Gerais, in Brazil, and then just 2 years before I moved to the U.S., I moved to Montanópolis, Espírito Santo, which is where a lot of the Brazilian population on Martha's Vineyard is from. We moved because my dad, he moved to the U.S. before we did. So once he was moving, we moved to be closer to his family at the time.
What do you do now?
Right now I'm in law school and I'm pursuing immigration law.
And where do you go for law school?
I go to Purdue University.
And what year are you?
I'm in my last year. I graduate in May.
So for every immigrant that enters this country, they always have a plan to go back home. But over the years, what happened with my parents is all my dad's siblings are here now on the island. Same thing with my mother. So there's no reason to leave because this feels like home. My grandparents come and visit every summer. They come and go on their visa. We have cousins here, and this feels very similar to where we're from because we were from a small town. So this feels small. I don't like the city. My parents don't like the city either. So this really is a home away from home. There are a lot of people here from the town where we're from. I'm sure you've heard the name Montanópolis thrown all over the place. Well, the real Montanópolis is here. It's not even back there anymore. So yes, initially the plan is always, there's a deadline, there's a goal in mind, and once you meet that goal, you're leaving. But then you have more children, and you settle down, and you make friends, and your roots, they grow deeper. When I was in middle school and elementary school in general, the teachers would always suggest strictly Portuguese at home, or else I would lose it. You are completely immersed in the English language, like school, reading, homework, everything is in English, TV. So at home, my parents were very strict about that so that I wouldn't lose it. I actually had private Portuguese lessons in the summer for a few years so I could read and write. And at the time, it was terrible. I hated it. But now I'm really thankful that they did that. So because I wasn't raised there are a lot of sayings and slang that if people use around me, I'll be lost. And then there are some that I understand, but what happens to me a lot is, for example, once in a blue moon, right? We say that in English. I said that in Portuguese one day, and my mom goes, "What are you saying?" So it doesn't translate, and there are some that do. And my clients, they love hearing sayings that I have been given, right from my parents and grandparents. And one of my favorite ones that I like to use, and I've never heard in English before, is so-and-so thinks that the world orbits around their belly button. So a very self-centered person, I love that one. That one I force it, I translate it, and it makes sense.
How does that sound in Portuguese?
O mundo gira em torno a umbigo. O umbigo da pessoa. Yeah.
Hoje vamos falar sobre coisas que você não deve fazer no Brasil, a menos que você queira irritar os brasileiros. Como você sabe, brasileiros geralmente são pessoas alegres e descontraídas, mas algumas coisas nos irritam profundamente. Eu fiz uma lista de coisas que incomodam brasileiros para você não cometer gafes quando for ao Brasil. Vamos lá. Número 1. Presumir que brasileiros falam espanhol. Gente, no Brasil não se fala espanhol. Então, por favor, não vá ao Brasil achando que você vai conseguir se comunicar em espanhol. A maioria dos brasileiros considera isso ofensivo. É claro que alguns brasileiros falam espanhol, assim como alguns falam inglês, francês e muitas outras línguas. Mas se você presumir que brasileiros falam espanhol porque estamos na América Latina, você vai ofender muitas pessoas. Número 5. Presumir que todo brasileiro saiba sambar, jogar futebol e viva na praia. Seria ótimo, mas não é verdade. A ideia de que brasileiros adoram samba, futebol e carnaval não passa de um estereótipo. Há muito mais do que isso no Brasil. Então, quando conversar com um brasileiro, tente descobrir outras coisas sobre o país. Evite mencionar estereótipos e, por favor, não pergunte a brasileiros se eles sabem sambar. E número 10. Dizer a um brasileiro: você não parece brasileiro. Já me disseram isso algumas vezes. Eu não sei como as pessoas imaginam que brasileiros sejam, mas não há uma única maneira de descrever brasileiros. No Brasil, você vai encontrar indígenas, afrodescendentes, descendentes de europeus de todos os cantos da Europa, descendentes de japoneses, chineses, libaneses. E a lista continua. Então, com relação à aparência física, basicamente, qualquer pessoa que você veja na rua poderia ser brasileira.